Now, I've reviewed quite a few TKKJs and I quite like them. They're good folding drones, the transmitters work well, I'd be quite pleased with them, and they're not very expensive quads. This one is looking very similar to the others, but this is called the L600 Brilliant, and it's got an optical flow system. So then I'll show you how that works when we actually get out on the flight, but this has sort of raised their game a wee bit. It's looking really nice quad, and it comes in a super box. This is sort of James Bondy. You sort of unpack it, and then the individual boxes are all inside as well, as you can see. And it's just looking really slick. So far, so good. Let's get it out on the bench and have a look. So it's the same design as the other TKKJ ones that I've reviewed, and they give you loads of warnings about pressing the buttons. You must do that to open and close the arms because they're actually held in with some little spring release ones here. So I'll just pop off the safety warning. And then you simply press these and then pull it out. If you try and pull them out, first of all, you're sort of popping it and wrenching it. You have to be a bit, you could hear it go there. So much easier to press it. And certainly when you're folding it back in, they really don't want to fold back in. So if you do push too hard, you might well break something in there. So very sensible, just to warn you before you even open it out, because once you get your quad, you're pretty excited to have a go. It's got that weird sort of dead cat look again, doesn't it? But it makes it into quite a sizable quad, actually, really nice. You've got a removable camera unit like I've had on other ones, and my one doesn't have a micro SD card. If you've got the one without the Wi-Fi, you will have a micro SD card in there, so you'll be able to record straight onto the quad. My one will actually record back to the phone app. You get an included screwdriver, so you can pop the battery bay open. And I think that's just a little bit over the top actually, because this battery bay door fits quite tightly. There's really no need to have that screw in there at all, so I really wouldn't bother with it. You've got a JST battery, and these are really normal batteries. There's loads and loads of different ones we can get, and I'll put links down in the description so you can buy a whole batch of them. You usually buy about 5, including a multi-charger for about £10. I'll put a link down in the description for you. 850 milliamp hour, and it's a single cell as well. You also get the charger for it, which is a USB one, so simply just plug that in, and then you can either use a power bank, you can use your laptop or your computer, in your car if you're out and about, or you can actually use the mains adapter for that. If you're new to flying, I definitely recommend you put these on. These are the prop guards, and you get 4 of them. They simply just pop into there like that, and you get screws that you can actually put them in there and then hold them in position. I really don't think you need them, to be honest. I don't think they're going to move, and they do protect it well. They give you a good coverage. You're going to make your quad very large, and you then can't fold the arms off. You have to pop them off if you're going to use it as a proper folding drone. The other thing you get with the screwdriver, you can also change the props as well. Pop these little caps off, and then you can unscrew the prop and then replace it, and you get 4 replacement props with the kit as well. The optical flow system is actually on the back on this one, and basically that just looks down at the ground and picks a pattern that it's going to stay locked onto, and it should stay there pretty well. I find the optical flow system very good. They work excellent indoors, and they work really well up to about 10 meters, I've found. They're more for sort of low-level flying actually, and they do keep it usually quite precise. If you're flying over, very smooth areas, if you're flying over this bench, it would really have trouble trying to pick out a position, because obviously it's got no contrast there that it can work with, and they work better in bright lighting obviously. But I'll give this a full test when we get it outside. Onto the transmitter, and it's a altitude hold, and I actually like the TKKJ transmitters. They seem to work pretty well for what they are. You get good range out of them, and they're easy to use, to be perfectly honest. It's a mode 2, so this is our throttle, and we have altitude hold on this model. So when we push the throttle up, the quad will ascend, and then if we let it come back to center, it will stop at a height, and that's where it will stay. If you pull it down, it'll obviously descend, and you're doing a combination of all the stick movements at once basically, but this is just the basics of running through them. To make the quad rotate on itself, you simply push it to the right and it will rotate to the right, so go around clockwise. Push it to the left, it will rotate anti-clockwise. This is our direction stick, so if we push it forward, that's called pitching. The quad will pitch forward, and pull it backwards, the quad will pitch backwards. This will roll to the left and roll to the right, so it's basically the direction it's going to go in. And when you're turning, so if you're doing a right bank turn, you would be using both the sticks, because you would be turning it, which is called yawing in itself, and also you would actually be rolling the quad as well, so that gives a nice smooth movement. Don't worry about all that, just get out and just get used to what they do, then move on to those sort of things. The actual transmitter itself takes 4 AA batteries, and it doesn't come with those, so make sure you've got them in, otherwise you won't be flying. And it does have an extra one of those lock-in screws in there, but you honestly don't need it. This battery bay cover clicks into position really nicely. The gap at the top here is so that we can put our mobile phone holder on, and I pop that on when we actually go out and fly it. This is a little bit different to the other ones I've had from TKKJ, and when we turn it on, and then hopefully the camera picked that up, you get a ooh off it, sort of a deep drone. But the actual transmitter vibrates, and if you touch any of the sticks, it will vibrate as well. We've got an auto takeoff and auto landing button here, so if I press that, the quad motors will start and it will pop up into the air, and then we're ready to fly. We can take control of it as it's doing that. If you press this one again, it will come descend and come to land. You can still use the direction stick to bring it to where you want, and if you want to cancel that because it's coming down, say, in the wrong area, just give it some throttle and it'll cancel the descend. That's exactly the same, I always think, it's just pulling the throttle off. It does exactly the same, it pulls it down, but they always put them on them. I never understand why. If you need to calibrate the drone, so if it keeps drifting in one direction, I mean it shouldn't be because of the optical flow, but if it does, you pull the 2 sticks down and to the right, you get a flashing LED, again it vibrates, and you get flashing lights on the quad, and that calibrates the gyro. The quad must be somewhere level, and don't move it while you're doing it. If you still need to adjust trim, and there's lots of videos out there on how to adjust trim, this is again another different one, doesn't have the trim switches around here. You simply hold this one and then you choose where you want it, how much trim you want to add in, and it moves. You can feel again it's sort of vibrating as you do it. You've got buttons around the top and they're all marked, not particularly clearly, but they are marked. This is the total kill button, so you press this and the quad motors will stop and it will drop out the sky. This alters our rates, and you press that and it alters how much pitch and roll the quad has. This puts it into headless mode, and I'll show you headless mode when we get outside on the flight. This one alters the rate, so you simply press that and you get a real vibration off it then, and then you get a gentle vibration as well, so it just alters it with high and low rates. This one here is the flip button. We press that and then we choose the direction using the direction one, whether we want it to flip forward, backwards, left or right. And these two ones are, if you've got the one with a camera module that actually takes a micro SD card, you can use these 2 buttons here to start and stop your video or take still images. But because I've got the Wi-Fi version, I'll be doing that all on my phone. Also comes with a pretty good instruction manual. It's quite large text actually, so I don't know whether they're catering for the older person. Obviously not on this channel. It's really good actually. It runs through everything. If you're new to flying, it runs through everything nice and easy. The call outs are good, the descriptions are pretty good, and most of the translations are good. You certainly understand them, which is cool. And it even goes on to the app as well. You've got your QR codes, and it works on both platforms, so whether you're Android or Apple, or you can go directly to the stores to actually download it. It's a free download, and it's a reasonable app as well. I've used it before and it's quite a basic one, so I've done a full video on how to fly using an app, and I'll put a link down in descriptions for you. But like I say, it runs through everything, then sort of troubleshooting at the end, and then quite nice, it calls out all the parts, so if you do have anything that you break, you need any spares, you can see exactly what they're called. Especially if you're new to it, you might not know what they are.
Oh, when they said on a cold and frosty morning, it certainly is. Look at this. So I'm going to give this a quick flight now. It's about -2 or 3 degrees, so my breath will appear quite a bit. And I've slightly fibbed to you there, I'm ever so sorry. You can actually pull the arms out. There's a slight resistance there, but you can just pull it out, and it's there where it really clicks in. But I still recommend you should just press that. You're just going to wrench it, I think. So there we go, all ready to go. And we've got different surfaces here. We've got the stones and everything, see how the optical flow works, and then we've got the snow over there to give it, you know, a real hard test there. So with this one, you turn on the quad first of all, and I'm going to go and put it somewhere level. Let's just pop it there. So we've got flashing LEDs, hopefully you can see those, Actually, if I put it up there, it might be a bit easier. There we go. So we've got flashing LEDs. Got to turn on the transmitter. We get that vibration off the transmitter, and then we're bound straight away, which is a good system. I like it, actually. So to calibrate, pull the sticks down and to the right. You get a buzz off the transmitter again, and you've got flashing LEDs there. I'm also going to fly this with using the FPV here, and then I can record video. The quad will have set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and we're just going to log on to that, so it doesn't use up any data roaming, and you don't need to be near any other Wi-Fi devices. So you need to go into your settings for your Wi-Fi. I already just had a quick play with this indoors just to check it did work, so it might connect automatically, but it's saying it won't. So simply connect up to it's a Sky Wi-Fi, and then go onto the app, which is Wi-Fi Go. There we go, and it's warning us that we don't have any internet access. That's fine, and this is simply going to start, and then you can choose. We can either fly it on the phone, which I shall do in a minute, or we can fly it on the remote control. So we're going to fly it on the remote control, and there we are, we're all live. Actually, I think this is a bit better than one of the other ones I had from TKKJ. I'm sure it was one of theirs that had a 3-second delay, and so that tree you just hit is just about to come into shot. It's a very bad system it was. I think that was them anyway. If I got it wrong, I apologise, TKKJ. Right, so let's give this a go, shall we? So we're going to start recording the video and just have a look. So auto takeoff is this one. Just simply press that and we're up and away. That's pretty good. So that's holding altitude, as I said, so it's got altitude hold on it, and it should actually, there we go, so you can see it's mucking up the optical flow, because I put my hand underneath, it can't pick out across here, it's really struggling. There we go. So if I let go of that, it will stay in one position, so that's very good. That proves it's working. So this is in low rates. It's a nice smooth flight. This is literally the first flight I got. Hey, I'm not flying that much out here, it's damn cold. That is really nice, yay. It's just so smooth on the sticks. I think the last one I flew that I was reviewing really struggled. That is held really nicely even over snow. So there we go, now it might actually struggle a bit. No, it's still picked it out of the position. Yeah, you can see it's just hunting around a little bit, but that is pretty good. And if I take it right up, which we'll do in a little while, you won't actually, the optical flow will go off. There's hardly any breeze at all. I would say there was no breeze at all today. So really smooth little flyer. Let's just do a quick selfie. And you can tilt the camera angle down as well. So, there we go. That is good. So I'm going to stop that for a second. And I'm just going to take a selfie. There we go, file save successfully. Look at that whole position there, very nice indeed. Okay, I'm going to up the rates, which is that one there. Oh, that's a bit better. Hey, that is quite nippy actually. Whoa! Don't know what happened there. I don't know whether I pressed something. Oh, I might have just pressed that. If so, that's a bit worrying. Nice bank turn. Flies really nicely. Yeah, I can't manage to get it to stop otherwise from pressing that, so just wind your finger on there. Yeah, so let's just try that. So that's in high rates, that's in low rates. Hopefully you saw the dip there difference. Let's just try that again. So that's in low rates and that's in high rates. You can see it really get a move on there. It's actually a nice little flight. I wish I had 3 rates, that would be awesome. Yeah, so really nice. You can sort of line up the FPV. Well, that's over 30 metres, just about 40 metres there actually. What I'll do is I'll just take it out in the field, we just see how we get on. Yeah, oh yeah, we're well over now. That's a good 50 metres, no problem at all. Optical flow still working well. They're dropping out a little bit on the Wi-Fi, but just about flyable I would say. Look at this thing come back. And it's not losing any height either. As it's the altitude hold is really good on it. Hey, they've done it again. Optical flow, let's just see how high we can go with the optical flow and see whether it holds position. that is full ascent. It's as quick as I could go. It's really not very quick. Which is quite normal. Oh, we've got flashing LEDs. It is blinking cold today. There we go. Now can you see it drifting across there? I'm just distracted by the clouds. They're beautiful, aren't they? Yeah, so that's the optical flow not working. Let me bring it down. I can walk on the ice and you'll see when it starts to work. It's about 10 meters they tend to work. There we go. Now it should be holding now. Yeah, so now it's not moving. Oh, that's a nasty surface for it to pick up on. Oh no, we haven't got flashing LEDs, so that's good. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that into land, and you can hand catch and launch this one, no problem at all. I'm just going to put it down here. I'm going to turn this off for a second and then rebind to it. I'm going to set that up that way, and then we're going to I'll just give it a go with the headless mode just to show you what the headless mode does. We're back on again, and headless mode is this button here. So I'm going to put it into headless mode. Oh, right, so it's, whoops, so it's actually headless. It's set up that way. It's probably because I didn't turn the actual quad off. There we go. So forward is always that way. There we go. Forwards there, backwards towards it. It doesn't matter what orientation the quad's in. That's exactly what it will do. So I can go to the right and yaw it round as well. Let's pop the rates up so you can see that a bit better. There we go. Not something I really use a lot, to be honest. I don't actually like it, and I've never found a use for it. Let's try a flip. So you hold the button in for flipping, and it flips forwards and backwards. It gives itself a lot of altitude, which is sensible. It saves hitting something. But if you're indoors, it will actually hit your ceiling. Obviously, that's not going to do a lot of good. I'm so tempted just to do a skid land. Don't think I've ever landed a quad on ice. No. I thought it might just sort of skid in really nicely. Thunderbird style. Let's pop that camera down just a wee bit. So you just tilt that down. There we go. We'll give it another little selfie. It's nice. It flies well. Yeah, that camera angle's good as well. Nice to have it level, or you can have it at an angle if you like. There we go, so we can just see a little selfie. Yeah, and it's holding position there pretty well. Yeah, that's holding very well. Good. Still can't do this skid land. Oh no, because of course it's, once it realises it's not going down anymore. Oh, I managed to keep the prop spinning that time as well. Nice. It is a lovely fly. It just feels good on the sticks, you know? You know when you got something that you just sort of like, this is fun. It is. And really nice and controllable. And I usually say precise, and it is precise as well. Lovely. Now we've got flashing LEDs, and I'm not surprised. Should I give it a quick go on the app, because it's a very basic app, so that'd be good. And the other thing is, I'll just show you that kill button, which I actually pressed by mistake. There we go. It's just literally touch it and it kills it. And that was the problem I had before. Just my finger rested in there. But yeah, I don't think you shouldn't really keep your fingers around there once you know. Okay, so I've got another battery, and you can see we've got flashing LEDs because we haven't actually started the app. I'm just going to see whether it logs onto it straight away. Go into your Wi-Fi settings again. Again, not connected up, and then just launch the app. When we press start, app control. There we go. So we're all live again. I'm just going to run through the app this time. So start the video here, and you can change the settings for the video. I've never actually noticed a huge difference in them, but we'll put it on 720 and just see how we get on. And this flies quite nicely actually. Bearing in mind I've got really cold thumbs. It is lovely actually. God, that Wi-Fi is breaking up a lot. I wonder whether it's because of that, but it could well be. Or you speed of your phone, speed of your connection. But that is holding really well, isn't it? And again, if I put my hand there, there goes it. I'm not touching anything on the phone. There we go. It's really struggling with the ridges across my fingers. So you can actually sort of move it yourself if you want. There we go. I have the power. There we go. Away. So the optical flow certainly works. I'm surprised it didn't just come down there and whack me on the head. I would have. Yeah, I'll show you optical flow. Optical flow this. There we go. So that's in low rates. Up into high rates. Well, it's pretty fast actually. It's pretty nice. I'll tell you what, the altitude hold is really good on this model. Really cool. Brilliant. Okay, let's do the old gutter inspection, would you? Well, there's going to be a lot there. So I could tilt the camera down, obviously. I wonder how that will get on with the optical flow over a roof. Oh no, it doesn't like it. There's me wussing out there. There we go. So that's just pointing down at the tiles. Whoa, you can see it. I don't know if the camera will pick that out because it's probably a way away, but it's actually just doing a sort of hover motion, purely because it's the edges of the tiles it's probably struggling with. But to be fair, that's not actually moving. It's holding one position, just sort of doing a little orbit around it. So you can see on the camera there, yeah, that might be giving it away. That is very good. There it goes there. You can see it's drifting. And then it's just about finding its position again. That's got to be a good 10 meters up there, I would say. And if I bring it down, it seems the optical flow seems very good. Altitude hold is extremely good on this. It doesn't have the bounce back up that some quads do. And it's just again finding a spot that it can look at. It's a really hard environment for it to pick out, but there you go, it's gone solid again. I'm quite impressed with that. I'm very impressed with that actually, to be honest. Okay, you've got all the other toys in here as well. So you've got headless mode. Can't even remember what way I set it. Oh no, it's actually a gyro. Oh, you have to hold this button here if you want to use the gyro. So you press that, there we go. And then you go, well, it's not a button, it's just that where your control is there. It won't do anything. I like this because usually I tilt it back to look at me and then I have a problem. There you go. It's struggling to find a position for optical flow and it's just found on there. So I put my thumb in the middle there. And then now I'm actually flying on the gyro. So if I go right, it'll go right, left. And you can do diagonals with it. There we go, get flashing LEDs again. I didn't fully charge the battery, to be perfectly honest. You can still rotate as well. And what I do with the grandkids, I get them to turn round so they're facing the way of the quad. If not, they've got a, it's really quite confusing with this. And then nice thing is, let go, take your thumb off, and it just sits level. So I like that idea. So let's take that off. And then we're back into normal. And like I said, this thing is really nice, so easy to fly. Good beginner's quad. And actually good to pocket around. If the video's any good, it could actually be quite a useful little quad. So what I'm going to try now is I'm going to show you the mission planner thing, which is something I really don't like. It's sort of, you set it on a path, so it's that one there. And then we just go forward and it will go forward. You can see it tracking across there. So if I do a loop the alley-oop, it will go loop the alley-oop. And you can change how far you go. Now last time I did this, it went absolutely ballistic because I did it too far. So let's just, whoa. Wait. Hey, I actually got the hang of it this time. So you can actually change what rate it runs around at as well. So I really don't like this piece of kit when it does this. There we go, so let's just see how far that goes. Yeah, it's going a lot further now. Yep, I just don't see any sense in them, so whoa! So I'm going to take that off. That's good. So this one is really easy to fly. Even with freezing cold hands, I've had complete control over this. Really nice. Impressed. And with the optical flow and this, the altitude hold that this thing's got, it is very nice indeed. And if you want to film, it's got nice slow rates as well. So really, not finding a lot of problem with this. Probably the Wi-Fi is not the best in the world. That would be, the FPV, but you can line up a shot with it, no problem at all. I can't seem to get it to flip, so... Oh, we've got flashing LED, so it won't flip when it's on flashing LED, so I'm not sure they do actually on this app. From what I remember, I think I had an issue with this one before. We do have headless mode on this, so simply press that, and then we're right is right, forward and backwards, same as we had with the transmitter as well. Oh, and we just run out of power completely there, and it just gently comes into land, so it doesn't just suddenly kill the power. So, but headless mode works the same. But like I say, I don't recommend you use it.
Okay, so what do I think of the L600? Well, you probably got the impression already. I like it. I think it's a nice piece of kit. What are the benefits in it? One, it's got the optical flow, which works really well. Even though it's such a tiny little unit there, it really does work well. The transmitter works well, and I was way over 60. I would say 80 meters wouldn't be a problem with it. The Wi-Fi will drop out by then. I did have trees in the way when I was doing it, but I wouldn't rely on the Wi-Fi working that well. The Wi-Fi was a slight letdown with it. I think it could be a bit better. And for my personal choice, I would prefer a little bit better camera in there as well. I thought the camera was quite weak, but then again, this thing is just over £30 at time of doing the review, and I probably be a code or something I'll put down in description for you, so hopefully it'll get even lower than that. But I mean, for 30 quid for this sort of quality of quad and level of flight and the smoothness of actually flying, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it, and I fly a lot of quads, and I actually was enjoying it and went back out again and again and was still enjoying flying it. It's really nice. The clicking out with the arms, I would definitely be pressing that button every time. The only two arms that move without actually clicking it in are the two front ones. When you first pull them out, once they're there, you would just break it if you don't press that. And to open the back ones, you definitely need to press these buttons. So I've had a good play around with it. That's what I'm recommending, that you just use the buttons all the time, because you're just as likely just to wrench one by mistake, sort of thing. Then it comes out to a decent sized quad, and it really holds. Altitude hold was absolutely brilliant on it. It's one of the best quads I've had. Acceleration in going up and descent weren't great, but on the toy grade ones they never usually are, so that's to be expected. And the two rates are definitely distinctly different. If you want to fly smooth video, keep it in low rates, and if you want to just bat around and hoon around and just have a laugh and some enjoyable flying, just keep it up in high rates. It could do with a third rate as far as I'm concerned, but like I say, I fly a lot of quads. But yeah, it really could get even more sporty, I think. It's really nice. I mean, I'm impressed with it, I must admit. I like the way you can tilt the camera up and down, and hopefully they bring out a 2 megapixel one as well. But like I say, for 30 quid, I don't think you can go far wrong. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to put a small camera on there and it would lift it up no problem at all. Something like my Q6 would go on there, no problem at all. I'm sure it would fly with that. I might even do a 4K video with it. Let's see how we go, eh? Like I say, transmitter was brilliant. The only issue I had was just I rested my finger in there. It's actually quite difficult to do, but you've only got to click it in and it just kills the motors, as you saw, just dropped out of the sky. The optical flow, when it's not working, when it can't work, if it's too dark or it just cannot pick up a signal that you go too high or anything, and it can't pick out a pattern that it can lock onto, that's when you get the flashing LED. So it took me a little while to get onto that, but that is why the LEDs flash. As soon as it comes back in and picks up the optical flow, the LEDs stop flashing again. So really good. 9 to 10 minute flights. I was out in cold conditions, and also I was hearing it around as well on some of the other flights just to see how well it did, and it was sort of pretty constantly between 9 and 10 minutes depending on how fast you go, how cold it is. The battery is good. I mean, amazing the length of flight you got out of it with it. And I didn't show you, but when you actually put it on charge, you actually get a red LED, and then when it's fully charged, that basically goes off. So it would just literally just goes to blank like that when it's fully charged. So that's quite good. It takes about an hour to charge. And the nice thing I like about the battery bay area is it is huge. You have loads of room in here, and I like having that, and I like it having a JST connector as well, because I've got 3 different batteries here. One's even 1000 milliamp hour, so it'll give you even longer flights. I've got a little 900 one here as well, and then it actually comes with an 850, and any one of those fits in that battery bay without any problem at all. So I really like that. I'll put some links down in descriptions for you. And like I say, you can buy sort of 4 or 5 of them for about a tenner with a multi-charger as well. So all in all, really impressed, as you can probably tell. The only thing for me personally was just that camera could just be better, but if they put a better camera on there, it's going to go up another 10 quid, which is going to be 25% dearer to buy, isn't it? So perhaps I'd rather pay a little bit less and actually put my own camera on there, that I've got more control with it. So there we go. Yep, perhaps it's for you. I must admit, I do like the TKKJ range. I've always been pretty impressed with them, and this one's no disappointment for sure.